morning. My name is Dr. Lanisha Mako-Ridley, and I am the co-project director for the New Jersey Family Engagement Hub. Welcome to this month's webinar, Building Strong Family School Partnerships. We're going to talk this morning about strategies that you can use at home and at school and in the community to build strong relationships and collaborations between families, educators, and community partners. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And now let me introduce the rest of the team.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kim Rivers, and I am the training coordinator for our New Jersey Family Engagement Hub. I'm a mom of 3, and I am so glad that you've taken time to join us this morning, and I'm going to pass it over to Tara.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm Tara Semenik. I am the Southern Regional Family Engagement Specialist. I have 3 children in school, and I will pass it to Faith.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Faith Mixer. I'm the Northern Regional Family Engagement Specialist, and I will pass it on to Alexis.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alexis Pratt. I'm the Community Engagement Specialist for the New Jersey Family Engagement Hub, and I will pass it to Casey.
Thank you, Alexis. Good morning, everyone. My name is Casey Dudley. I am the coordinator for the Parents as Champions project and program that we are training here under the Family Engagement Hub. I'm also a mom of 1, caregiver of my younger sister, thank you for being here today.
Stephanie Babbitts, who is our SFC coordinator for the START project, is not here today. So Kiari, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Kiari Tyler. I'm the virtual learning content developer, and I will be helping everybody with the tech side behind the scenes, and it's great to see everyone today.
So as we get started, I want to let you know a little bit about SPAN Parent Advocacy Network. We are an organization that is 35 plus years in the making, and we help families get services in all range of areas: early childhood, family engagement, organizational capacity, youth engagement, parent and professional development. We are a parent center for the state of New Jersey. We have over 35 grants that we receive from not only the state of New Jersey, but county entities, regional entities, and federal. You can learn more about our program areas and our activities by visiting our website, spanadvocacy.org. The New Jersey Family Engagement Hub is a project of SPAN, and it is a project that has been funded by the U.S. Department of Education. We are completing our 2nd year of funding, and we are the statewide Family Engagement Center for New Jersey. We were funded to be a centralized information hub for family engagement. We work with educators, families, and community partners to assist them in building collaborations and bridges so that they can better serve families and youth in the areas of family engagement. We do this by providing tools and strategies such as today's webinar, online workshops, in-person workshops, and most of all, we work to empower our youth through our services and activities, because the most important thing is to have our youth at the table, because we are working to better their student success. We're going to take the time now to look at a video that talks about what makes community and school and family partnerships so important in the work that we do.
We can't solve all the issues that kids face at home, and we can't solve all the issues in the classroom. So what can we do?
One of our core values is collaboration, so we won't succeed if we try to do this work alone.
How can we come together?
Not one person can do it alone, not one school can do it alone. Our education, our schools, and health have been trying to figure out how to work together for years and trying to figure out what that core nexus of alignment is. We bring in a number of partners. We convene partners on a monthly basis and make sure that they're aligned to the mission and the vision of the school goals. And so when we're looking at a specific student outcome, we look at all the different adults and systems that touch that young person at that time in their lives. And that's how we go about inviting and convening partners around the table. We want to make sure that there's enough resources for students that are underrepresented, and especially to support specific subgroups. Think about all of the people and systems that impact a youth and figure out how we can better align those to increase outcomes.
So the more we get to do this work inside schools, again, empowering those young people to empower their communities, the more we're going to see not only school communities thrive, but entire communities thrive.
What is partnership? As we can see from that video, it's a word that's used a lot because when we talk about what partnership is in the context of family, school, and community engagement, it's not just a buzzword, it's a profound commitment. Because at its core, a partnership, it's a shared commitment among families, educators, students, and community partners to work together, and that involves having mutual respect, shared power, and a common goal of student success. And notice those key phrases: shared commitment, mutual respect, shared power. It's not one entity dictating to everyone else. It's actually working side by side together. And for us, for family engagement, when we apply this to that family, school, community partnership, we're talking about creating strong connections between diverse groups. Families bring their unique cultural backgrounds and daily lives, and educators contribute their specialized training and their classroom insights. Community organizations, they offer valuable external resources and they bring distinct perspectives. And of course, last but not least, our students, they provide their voices, their experiences, and their personal insights into what's working in their learning journey. So it's fundamental that we find ways to work together so that we can understand each other. And most importantly, build trust for the good of our students, because trust is the bedrock upon which all successful partnerships are built. And when we talk about these principles to truly foster genuine partnerships, trust and mutual respect, that's a non-negotiable. We must trust that everyone involved has the student's best interest at heart, and we must respect each other's unique roles, their expertise, their perspectives, even when we don't always agree. Next, there's shared responsibility. When we talk about student success, it's not just the school's job, and nor is it solely the family's job. It is a collective effort. So when we share responsibility, we can then share in the triumphs and work together throughout any challenges that come up. Thirdly, communication. Communication should be open and it should be two-way. And this isn't just about the school sending information home. It's about creating channels where families, students, community partners, everyone feels heard, where their questions are answered, and where the dialogue can flow freely in both directions. And then finally, having active participation and inclusivity. Yes, a partnership means that everyone has a seat at the table. It means creating opportunities for all voices to be heard and actively encouraging participation from diverse groups and ensuring that no one feels left out or undervalued. So by embracing those core principles, we can move beyond simply involving families to truly partnering with them and creating a powerful ecosystem of support for every student. Next slide. So when we talk about building bridges, I love this quote here by Dr. Karen Mapp, who is the guru of family engagement. And she said that family engagement isn't about fixing families. It's about building partnerships rooted in trust, respect, and shared purpose. So building these partnerships is like building a bridge, and that requires reaching out, listening with an open heart and big ears, and creating pathways where we can work together even if we don't agree. Building a strong partnership is like building a sturdy bridge. It takes intentional effort and the right approach. So let's talk about some practices that'll help to create that connected and collaborative environment. Well, first and foremost, it starts with listening. Yes, that often quoted big ears in small mouths. And this couldn't be more true when we talk about building relationships. The goal should be to listen in order to understand and not just to respond. You know that thing where you're talking with someone and then they're just waiting for you to stop talking so they can say what they have to say in response? No, no, no. We need to practice genuine listening. And we need to open ourselves up to hearing new perspectives. And then also really make an effort to create a space where others feel heard and valued. It's essential so that we can learn about other people. So if you take the time to ask questions, who are you? Tell me where you're from. Listen to hear about that person's values, about their cultures, about their community. And this isn't about being nosy. It's not about being intrusive. It's about showing genuine curiosity and respect for who they are and where they're from and what is important to them. Understanding these nuances can help us connect on a deeper, more meaningful level. And of course, we have to meet people where they are. And that is a powerful concept. It means being flexible. It means being inclusive in how we engage and where we engage and when we engage. So instead of always expecting people to come to us, consider hosting meetings. You know, have a local space like, I don't know, a barbershop, church, community center. For those who are busy, even online, virtual platforms. And this approach can help break down the barriers and make participation more accessible and comfortable for everyone. And then there's the how. How, it's always the how we communicate. It is vital that we always make an attempt to utilize plain and respectful language. So, try to avoid jargon or acronyms or overly academic terms that might exclude others or confuse others, or, speak clearly, respectfully, and with empathy. Simple and direct language delivered with warmth goes a long way in fostering trust and understanding, because we want to make people feel good. If people feel good, they feel comfortable, then they're open, then they're listening. And of course, a powerful tool to do that with, share a story. Yes, real life experiences connect us in an emotional level in a way that facts and figures often can't. So when we share our own experiences or we listen to someone else's story, we can build empathy and find common ground. And we can start strengthening and building a bridge and creating a bond. And then find things that are common to us, celebrate small wins, acknowledge progress, no matter how minor, no matter how tiny, rather than waiting for perfection. Let us recognize and celebrate every step forward. And that way we can build momentum. We can encourage and motivate continued effort and reinforce positive collaboration. Finally, and crucially, invite everyone to the table. Make a conscious effort to ensure that all voices, families, youth, educators, and community members are not only present, but truly heard and respected. True partnership thrives when every stakeholder feels that they have a valuable contribution to make. Because as the saying goes, bridges are built with conversations and not assumptions. Highlight the active, ongoing dialogue that you need to connect. And when we successfully build these bridges, we can create spaces where, as another quote reminds us, where everyone belongs. Like Dr. Mapp says, family engagement isn't about fixing families, it's about building partnerships. It's about the journey, hand in hand, towards a shared goal. Next slide, please. So then let's look at the benefits. How does it benefit you, these partnerships? Why do they matter so much? Well, first off, there's academic benefits, obviously. For students, when families and schools partner effectively, the research shows that there are higher grades, test scores, and this is not just anecdotal. The research shows that engaged families contribute to stronger academic performance. There's better attendance for school. So students whose families are connected to the school environment, they show up more consistently and ready to learn. There's increased graduation rates, and this cumulative effort of engagement throughout a child's education journey helps to ensure that they stay on track and ultimately achieve that diploma and get to college or wherever else their career leads them. Strong partnerships result in better social, emotional outcomes. So beyond academics, that's a significant positive ripple effect to a child's overall well-being and future success. It increases self-esteem. When students see their families and school working together, they feel more supported, they feel understood, and they get confident in their abilities. It can motivate them as a student so that once they have that unified support system, it can ignite a child's internal drive to learn and succeed, and because they feel seen and valued. It has an impact on improved behavior. So that consistent message and approach between home and school leads to positive behavior choices and fewer disciplinary issues. And then last but not least, systemic benefits. Because benefits to partnership lead beyond individual students. It goes on to the entire education environment because it creates a stronger school culture when families feel welcomed, and respected as partners, it transforms the entire atmosphere of the school into a more positive, more inclusive, more collaborative community. Partnership reduces teacher burnout. Yes, teachers can feel more supported and more effective when they know that they have families as allies. And this shared responsibility can alleviate stress and increase job satisfaction. And then the school districts become more responsive because that open dialogue with families means that schools are now better equipped to understand the diverse needs of their student population. And it allows them to adapt programs, create better programming, create better support systems that are more truly effective for everyone. So ultimately, investing in robust family engagement and having strong partnerships, it's not just a nice idea. It's a strategic imperative. It results in benefits for students, educators, and the entire community. And now I'm going to pass it over to Casey.
Thank you, Kim. We're going to now start to discuss building blocks and looking at communication, relationship building, and shared interest. So let's be honest. Effective communication and family engagement is so much more than just sending out a newsletter, right? I mean, really, it's really about communication. It's also about trust. And it starts with something simple but powerful: active listening. We like to say having big ears and small mouths. And that means really hearing families. And we just heard Kim talk about that. Listening to their concerns, their ideas, and their stories without rushing to fix or to explain, just letting them feel heard. That's where the trust actually begins. So let's pause here just for a moment. And I'd like you to drop a word in the chat that describes how you feel when someone truly listens to you. Do you feel empowered? Do you feel seen? Acknowledge that in the chat. What do you feel, or how do you feel when someone truly listens to you? Validated, respected, heard, understood, right? Appreciated, seen. Thank you, Erica. I see that appreciated, understood. That's coming up a lot, right? So you guys, empathy, that's a big one. That's a big one, right? Really the person is putting themselves in your space to show that they understand where you are, right? Now, listening is also just the beginning though, right? We also have to culturally be responsive. Our families come from beautiful, diverse backgrounds, linguistically, culturally, and economically. And they have different experiences with education. So we need to ask, are we communicating in ways that feel welcoming and respectful to families? That might mean translating materials, honoring different communication styles, or simply asking families how they prefer to connect. It's not a one-size-fits-all. As Kim said, we have to meet families where they are. So let's talk about language as well. Schools love acronyms. I'm sure you guys have seen this, heard this, been a witness to it. IEPs, SEL, MTSS. But families might be thinking, what does this stuff even mean to me? So we need to ditch the jargon and speak very clearly to families. If we want families to engage, they need to understand what we are saying. It's a give and take. Finally, communication also needs to be consistent and transparent. No surprises. Families should know and can count on us for regular updates. Good news, challenges, all of it. Good, bad, or indifferent. That's how we build trust, right? So we don't always want to think that the good news is only the things that we want to communicate to families. We also want to create an equal communication lines, even when there's the communication that's not so great for families. All right, so let's shift gears to collaboration. If communication is about sharing information, collaboration is about working together. And that starts with shared planning and decision making, not just telling families what's happening, but also inviting them to start, right? You ever heard that saying, nothing about me without me? Asking for their input, valuing their ideas, and making space for their leadership. Think about the time when family members helped shape the program or event. Type yes or no if you've had that option happen to you, had that happen to you, right? Type yes in the chat if you've seen that kind of partnership in action, right? Have you heard or seen, right? Exactly. Not yet. Danielle said not yet, right? So it doesn't always come up at any time, right? But there should be opportunities when family members help shape a program or event. Whether that's an event in your community, an event in your school, right? Families should always be seated at the table. There's also mutual goal setting. We're not just chasing school goals or family goals. We're identifying shared dreams for student success. That's where the actual magic happens, right? Where we can sit around and share ideas and come up with something dynamic for our schools and for our students. And underneath all this shared interest, we're all here for the same reason, helping students thrive, but that also means we have to find some kind of middle ground. And that kind of looks like agreeing to a disagree sometimes. Schools have systems, families have traditions and schedules. We need to understand each other's needs and get creative about how we want to actually meet in the middle. So when we look at families as a whole, right, we're talking about families and partners, not just partnerships. Let's talk about how families can stay connected and empowered in their children's education, right? First and foremost, we got to be there. They got to show up, and families have to be able to express how they want to connect, and educators as well as leaders like us want to be there for those families to accept that communication. So show up needs to be seen. Whether it's in school, play, a parent-teacher conference, or volunteering, once a year, your presence matters. It tells your child that I am here for you, right? Our children love to see us, right? Especially when we show up at school, as long as it's for something good, right? We don't want to be there. I'm sure they don't want to see this when it comes to like disciplinary situations that happen. However, they love to see their parents in school. Speak up and share. Ask questions. Share what's happening at home. You know your child best. Your insight helps teachers support them better, right? So having a communication, open lines with your teachers will only help your child as well as your teacher. Get involved. Join the PTA, the advisory board, school teams. Your voice helps shape decisions that impact your students. Use the tech. Check those parent portals. I know my district uses a parent portal, right? We all have different, I think ours is called Power School, but there are different ones out there. Get familiar with them. Use those parent portals, the emails, the apps. Staying informed to help you stay ahead. Build your village. Know that there are parents out there that want to be supported and those that you can support it. You can support and those that want to also support you. Connect with other parents. Share your stories. Support each other and advocate together. Stronger together always. So if you can take a moment and think about everything that we just said or that I just said, drop a comment in the chat. What is one way you've partnered with your child's school this year? One way. Have you been involved with class parties? Did you help with the, elementary or high school graduation? Whether it was a fundraiser, put in the chat one way that you've helped your schools, help partner with your schools. Sabrina said graduation. It's a good one. Class parties. Love the class parties, right? And these are ways that we're getting to know not only, right, the administrators and staff in the school, but you're also getting to know other parents, right? You can start to build that village collectively. Have those open lines of communication. Find out who those parents are that are actually involved in the PTA. And if you're not, how can you be a part of it, right? Or if there's a CPAC in your school district, in your school, right? How can you be a part of those groups? your health teams in schools. Someone said helping to volunteer to play for Field Day. Wonderful. Thank you for those comments. So as we move on to educators, let's make family engagement feel less like a task and more like a relationship. And how can they do that? Here's a way that can happen. Start with positively kicking off every interaction with something great about the students. I'm here for my educators, right? This is what we can do for our parents. A strength, a win, a kind moment. It builds trust and it opens the door to real collaboration. Keep the connection going. Quick chats, emails, virtual check-ins, whatever works. Consistent communication helps families feel seen, heard, and the loop all year, right? So I can tell you from experience as a parent and a professional, sometimes I just want to know you got my email, right? I just want to, it can just be confirmed, confirmation, acknowledging that the communication has been received, right? And then we can move forward in how we can, go back and forth and communicate about the situation. Understand that sometimes people just want to be heard, and not acknowledging that also kind of pulls down the trust level. Honor language and culture time. Use translation tools for parents. Respect the cultural norms and be flexible with scheduling. Meeting families where they are shows you that you value their presence. Co-create expectations. Invite families to help shape your classroom norms. When they are part of the process, they're more likely to reinforce it at home, right? And that only helps our classroom experience. That only helps our teachers when we see that it's happening both at home and at school. And students will benefit from that consistency over and over again. Listen like they're experts, because they are. Families, parents, caregivers know their child best. Families are their kids' best advocate. Ask, listen, and learn from them. Their insights can transform how to support each student individually. So let's shift a little bit from informing families to truly partnering with them. Drop a comment in the chat. What was one strategy that you've used to help build trust with families? If you're an educator or if you work with families, right? What is one of those strategies that you have used to help build better trust with families? Listening to their stories. Yes, right? I think someone talked about showing empathy, right, in the beginning. I think that is that's a very strong one, and I don't think people realize how just showing empathy and understanding where they're coming from, putting yourself in that other person's shoes, it's such a powerful way to build trust for families, for individuals, period. Erica said, currently I'm making phone calls to our new families, welcoming them. That's amazing. That is great, right? A lot of times new families come in and they are like blind to any situation. Nevertheless, the new classroom, the new parents, the new environment, those phone calls and people don't get on the phone anymore, right? So that's amazing. That's great. Consistency, emailing, sharing positive experience I have with their child, giving them space to share what is important to them culturally. Thank you, Melissa. Moving on to students. So students aren't just participators in school, right? They're partners. Here are 5 ways that they can lead and connect. And you want to encourage our students to be a part of this, right? So be present and engage. We want to encourage our students to be present and engage, right? Show up consistently. Stay curious. Pay attention to what is happening in the classroom and the hallways and the events. Their presence matters, right? So just like we said, families are the experts of their students. They know everything that's going on in the school, right? And being helpful, attending, ensuring that they're being present and engaged kind of gives them a sense of responsibility of their entire school environment. Build the home and school gap. Become a family ambassador. Help families understand school systems. Encourage your own parents to engage and be welcoming face to others. I just had a family the other day that I was working with, and the mom, her daughter, was really, really pushing for her mom to be a part of the home and school association in her school, right? Because all of her friends' moms were, and she wanted to not only see her mom show up, but it was a great opportunity for her mom to be involved and to get to know other parents. And that's, again, bridging that gap. Teach your teachers and families who you are. Share your interests, right? Encourage our students to share their interests, their goals, and their needs. When adults understand what drives the students, they can support you better. So a closed mouth will not be heard, right? Communicate with the adults. Communicate with the teachers. Let them know how you feel. Let them know what you want and your interests are, so they can better support you and bring those things into fruition into your classroom. Lead your learning and advocate. Take charge of your learning. Lead conferences. Join student government. Speak up in meetings. Represent your peers and use your voice to drive change. Right? So ensure that you are being that individual, right, that is being heard. It's not a one-way street. You come to school, right, to learn, to get an education, right, to build who you're going to be academically, right? But it's also there to speak out, right? You're learning a lot of different skills. And if you're not being heard, then things may not change. So encourage our students to be those advocates, right? Go and join your social groups, your student councils, your clubs after school. Be the person that's going to stand up for you, that model student that's going to model for the other students and encourage them to be present and engaged as well in schools. So when we talk about community, right, we're going to talk about how community organizations can be game changers in connecting schools and families. Offer space, staff, and experience, right? You have a meeting, you get a meeting room or after school space, staff who can support programs. Your resources can make school events more accessible and impactful. Support families directly. Translation, transportation, food access, these practical supports help families show up and stay engaged. It may seem small, but it's something huge to those that do not have access. When barriers come down, connections go up. Build cultural leaders. You know your communities. Help schools connect to cultural leaders and elders to build trust and enrich programs, right? Everyone is a part of your school community. They're a part of this environment. So they can definitely bring something to the table. I just had a conversation with someone the other day about understanding how to bring people to the table in communities when we're talking about members of your Board of Education. And they were very discouraged because not too many people on the board were parents, or not too many were parents. And in our reality, your board is supposed to reflect your community, not just one group of parents, right? Or not just students, or not just the elderly, right? So be a collective, right? We want to hear from every voice in the community to bring certain different perspectives to the table. And this can also help co-create family programs. Partner on workshops that empower parents. Leadership advocacy, navigating school systems. When family leads, schools thrive. I always say, when you keep families and children first, your school will automatically thrive. So what do strong partnerships actually look like, right? Let's bring the principles to life with real examples of collaboration, of course, here in our state of New Jersey. Trenton School District, Mercer County Street Friends Community Schools. Their partner was the Trenton Schools, Mercer County's Street Friends, and a local community-based organization. So what is actually happening here with these partnerships? Their services embed in schools. They're embed for mental health, mobile clinics, food pantries, family resource centers, In addition to schools include, these other schools that included are Rivera Elementary and Gregory Elementary, MLK Junior Middle. So then what is actually happening? So what's happening in all these schools, and how was it impactful, right? What was the impact? The barriers to learning are removed. So we're taking away all of that bad stuff, right? We're removing that out the way. Families access support right at school at a holistic hub for academic health and family needs, right? Again, an example of meeting families where they are, right? They can have access right there in those schools. Another one is Patterson Public School, full service community school, right? So their partners were Patterson Public Schools, Montclair State University, Dodge Foundation, and the local CBOs. What's happening there? Over 10 schools offer health and dental and mental health programs and also food services. They receive $1 million grant supports, staff, and coordination. I mean, let's just think about this, right? Inside of the school, we're talking about going into those schools, receiving dental programs, mental health, food service, all under one roof, right? It impacts 2,000 students. 2,000 of them were served in one term. Students focus on learning, not unmet needs, and a model of deep collaboration for lasting change. That is powerful. Your local PTAs and PTOs. Here is what they do. So this is a way that we can start that involvement. Volunteer-led support for enrichment events happening in your own school. This is parent-led. Fundraising for field trips, supplies and technical supplies, artwork, things like that. They build community through family rights and celebration and act as a communication bridge and advocate for students. This is all done through your parent-teacher association, parent-teacher organization, home and school association, right? These are things that are happening at a parent level where parents are actually leading the conversation. They're enriching the environment and leading this as well through their communication of school and community. Get involved in these, please. It is crucial to be present and to have a voice when it comes to sharing and communicate and building those collaborations in your schools. The impact of this is strengthening school culture. It ensures that parents have a voice and that those voices are heard, and enriches every child's experience. These examples shows how partnerships, big and small, can transform schools into thriving centers and into support connections. And now I will pass it back to Kim.
Thank you so much, Casey. And so now, this slide shows our activity worksheet that we have provided in our Google Drive. It's just going to provide some really great strategies for the different stages of school, for families and educators to learn more about family-school partnerships. And this and other resources will be in our Google Drive once you have filled out our survey. Yay! Yes, it is survey time. So please see that QR code, get your phone out, or you can also click on the link that is going to be provided in the chat and take a moment to fill out our survey. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And certainly, you'll also get that email to you if you didn't get a chance to finish. But once you fill that out, you'll have access to our drive and all the resources. So now we have upcoming events. Certainly, these are our upcoming presentations. Coming up on Tuesday, August 12th, we have The Power of Knowing Yourself, presented by Erica Brentan, who is one of our partners from SEL4NJ. Wednesday, August 13th, we have Cultivating Thriving Communities, creating spaces where everyone thrives. So please register for these. We always have events happening. And then August 19th from 1 to 2 p.m., we're going to have a listening session where you can talk about family engagement with our team leaders. And then moving on, we will also be doing a deeper dive into partnering with your schools. Yes. So this is going to be a deeper dive on more build bridges, strategies, techniques, how to create agreement with your school district, how to work together. So please, if you liked what you've done today, sign up for Tuesday, August 19th. This is going to be taking place at 12 p.m. And we look forward to seeing you then. And then we've also got our SPAN conference coming up. So that's going to be on Saturday, September 27th. And then the next in our webinar series is going to be Tuesday, September 9th. We always do our webinars on the second Tuesday of the month. And that's one is going to be a big one. Breaking the cycle and addressing chronic absenteeism. That is something that everyone talks about. And then we also have our middle school and high school math that's coming up on September the 3rd. And then next slide. More math. The Family Math Community of Practice. These are wonderful, wonderful offerings provided by NAFSCI, which is for family engagement, really going into how to work with your kids and conquer math, strategies and skills and so forth. So we want to thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you at our upcoming offerings, and have a wonderful day and focus on building strong family school partnerships. And hopefully I'll see you for our next one. Thank you.